And I'm Anita Vogel. Bill and Sandra are off today. According to Customs and Border Protection, the child died at a hospital very early Christmas morning. He is now the second migrant child to die in U.S. custody this month. And a Fox News alert for you now. At least 373 people are dead in Indonesia. Many more injured after a tsunami struck western Java and the southern Sumatra Islands Saturday night. With dozens missing in the disaster zone, officials fear that death toll will keep rising. William Lajeunesse is in Los Angeles. And William, some scary video coming out of Indonesia there.
Anita Vogel here live with the war of words as the fight heats up. Anita, good morning.
Well, good morning, Abby and Heather. And it is a deepening divide in the Republican Party as President Trump unleashes his anger, the president taking to Twitter.
Well, Christmas celebrations are now underway in Bethlehem. Thousands of pilgrims taking part in festivities there. The ancient city seeing the most visitors in years. Trey Yingst is live in Bethlehem with more. Trey, what's happening there?
I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it.
Well, President Trump saying he'd take responsibility for a government shutdown, but in an op-ed, the New York Post writing that Senator Chuck Schumer doesn't deserve a pass. So let me ask you about that article in the New York Post that says you can blame the president all you want for the shutdown. And as you heard him say, he would take all the blame, but that Chuck Schumer could end this thing tomorrow if he could just look past his hatred of the president and move 1 inch on funding for border security. Jim, you know Senator Schumer very well. At some point, are people going to start pointing fingers at him? He did speak to troops all over the world, all branches of the military, and then went into this conversation about a lot of things. He started out talking about interest rates rising too fast, but he thinks they're going to fix it. He went on to say he has great confidence in our companies. He talked about the wall. He called it a wall, a fence, and a barrier.
Right.
Number one, he insists it's illegal to ask a question about citizenship and that it will undermine the accuracy of the census, as you mentioned, particularly in California, which is home to millions of legal and illegal immigrants. And do people get nervous when the market was hovering around at 25,000 and you kind of get used to that? You go, okay, this is the new normal now. And now, you know, we're back down to 21,000. Where do you expect it to level off? Well, the CDC reporting high flu virus activity already happening in some states as folks across the country are reminded to take proactive measures during the winter months. Let's bring in Dr. Mark Siegel, professor of medicine at NYU Langone and a Fox News contributor. Dr. Siegel, so nice to see you in person.
Anita. Great to see you in person.
That was my next question. There's always this story out there that, you know, you shouldn't have a flu shot because it actually makes you sick before you get better.
And it doesn't. You don't get...
Live from America's News headquarters, I'm Anita Vogel. President Trump has a message for North Korea's Kim Jong-un ahead of their historic summit. The president saying it's a one-time shot to make North Korea great. He made those comments at a press conference in Quebec during the G7 summit.
They've told us he's not going to take any questions, but he's right here, so we kind of have to try. President Clinton?
Like the people who are surrounding the former president are giving her the block and trying to keep her out of there. But I know Anita, and I know Anita will keep pushing hard to see if she can push through the phalanx of people that are surrounding the former president.
We want to ask him about those comments earlier that there might have been, in his opinion, some voter suppression, and about this whole controversy surrounding these caucuses. Of course, his people are doing their best to keep me back here.
All right, we'll let you keep trying around there, Anita. We're going to bear with you a little bit because we think that good journalism requires that you be persistent.
We want to know, we've heard that you've made some comments that maybe there was some voter suppression going on here. And what's your reaction to these caucuses in general, these at-large caucuses?
Well, I think it's good to make it closer to their workplace, but it's helped some more than others.
How do you get to heaven?
Heaven? Oh. Frankly speaking, I don't know.
How about one piece of advice?
Sure.
Every day, the streets of Los Angeles yield injuries similar to those troops face on the battlefield.
Severe traumatic brain injuries, severe gunshot wound injuries, stab injuries.
What do you hear?
That's why the Navy trains doctors, nurses, and corpsmen from all over the world at County USC Hospital before they ship out to the war zone.
This is one of the busiest and most intense emergency rooms in the country, and right now members of the Navy are working side by side with doctors here to treat a young woman who just came in with a stab wound.
This is very relevant. We could absolutely see something like this, whether in Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever we're deployed to.
The 3-week program includes battlefield simulations, basic autopsies, and going on rounds with doctors. Because of the nature of combat injuries, the burn unit is one of the most essential parts of the training.
And we've had 3 or 4 different people who've texted us back from Iraq saying that they learned stuff here that they were able to use to treat people in the front lines.
In return for use of the hospital, USC gets extra hands from the Navy in the most traumatic of situations. What's going on? In the intensive care unit, they helped to save the life of this 11-year-old boy accidentally shot at close range. Real-life experience these sailors need to be prepared for war.
Have you ever been on a battlefield, a combat zone before?
I have not been in the combat zone yet. This will be the first time I'm actually in a combat zone.
This Navy doc knows she's headed to Afghanistan. Her colleagues will get their marching orders in the next 365 days. The hope is they head out armed with a new sense of confidence.
I think I'll be much more prepared than I was before this course, definitely.
In Los Angeles, Anita Vogel, Fox News.